Welcome to another episode of The Pickpocket. Here at The Pickpocket, we utilize the NBA category in the Fanduel app to help you win money. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. Also, be sure to like, subscribe to the channel, follow our Twitter to stay up to date with any roster moves / players sitting and games postponed. DM on Twitter for a wild card lineup. Top 5 from tonight's slate by position. At the point guard, we got Luka. At the shooting guard, we got Bradley Beal. Small forward, we got KD. Power forward, we got Giannis Antetokounmpo. And at the center position, we got Jokic. All right, read this regarding the icons. Very important. You're going to see a lot of icons throughout this presentation. Very important. If you're new to the channel, be sure to read this. These are the icons you're going to see throughout this presentation. The definition for these icons are very, very important. I advise you to take a picture of it so it's easy for you to follow along. All right, here we go. At the point guard position, we got symbols next to all these players. These symbols are very important. Be sure to look at the description, the definition for all these symbols. It will do all the explaining for you. Mock lineup. If you're new to the channel, feel free to use these Feel free to use 90% of the mock lineup as a base for your roster and substitute players where you see fit. We really like this mix of players. Holiday will be facing an awful New Orleans defense. Expect him to have that usual all-around game with good scoring. Jackson has been exceptional in the absence of the LA Clippers stars. Powell versus Sacramento bottom of the league defense, and his recent performances was too easy to pass up. Assuming Mitchell is still out, even if he isn't, Clarkson would be a good pick for this game. He played well last time they played him. We still have faith in Johnson. He's back cheap again. Take advantage versus this Denver defense, which allows small forwards to have great games or any aggressive scorer for that matter. Hayward would be Hayward. When he's on, he's good for 40 plus FDP. Jeff Green will again benefit from a bad defense and the focus being on the 3 stars. Porzingis played well last game. He should do the same this time around. Drummond versus New York, yeah, easily our favorite matchup. And pay attention to the definition of these symbols for these shooting guards. Very important. Same here. Hitter by position lineup. We found ourselves hitters in each position. Who should provide you some great FDP? Murray has been consistent in getting his FDP by doing a little of everything as far as rebounds, steals, blocks, assists, etc. Cole Anthony is a value player facing a good matchup for point guards. Herter probably had this circled on his calendar. Washington can't stop anyone right now. Hardaway scored slightly above his FDP last game. Look for the same. Utah has to try and stop the 2 stars first. Harris and Middleton are facing poor defenses. Randall will battle it out with Drummond. He played well last time versus Cleveland. JaMychal Green has been solid as of late with an expanded role. And Rudy Gobert popped off for 70 FDP. No true center for Dallas. And at the small forward position, we have symbols next to guys you should definitely pay attention to. Same here. More guys that you should pay attention to, especially the guys with symbols next to their name. Late heavy lineup. Only one player here plays before 8 p.m. You have 4 out of 9 players starting between 8:30 and 10 p.m. Kyrie and Simmons will likely provide their usual FDP. Both playing bad to not so great defense, especially Simmons. Clarkson and DeRozan are just consistent. DeRozan has carried that average all season by giving numbers in each category. Michael Porter is finding his way, and we believe San Antonio will keep this close, allowing for him to get plenty FDP because they will be focused on stopping the skill of Jokic. Birch isn't a household name, but he's been solid enough for FDP in the 20s. Holford versus Brooklyn should be good because they don't run big. They don't run big for stretches of the game, leaving Jeff Green playing center for a long time. Plus, their defense is just bad. Alright, and here are some symbols next to some great power forwards that you should definitely pay attention to. Be sure to look at the definition of these symbols. Same here. Early heavy lineup. The Atlanta and Washington game has two of the worst defenses in the NBA. Trae Young and Hunter should see a boost to their FDP average. Conley as the late game option is as good as it gets. Graham has been consistent and does more than just score. Rudy Gay is the fill-in who will supply you with all-around stats. It helps he's playing a bad defense too. Sabonis still hasn't had a team figure out how to stop him, let alone keep him off the glass and prevent him from dropping dimes. Brook Lopez is facing a solid defender tonight, but both will battle for boards as both these teams let it fly early and often from three. These three have the best matchups. Very important, pay attention to all these symbols. These are some great centers here. Definitely pay attention to the top three. The two most expensive lineup. Luka and Giannis are the most costly tonight. You'll notice this roster is similar to others. This matchup is too good to pass on, and we had to make up for that chunk of salary the two big names took. Each of these players has a good matchup, whether it be the position or the team defense. Atlanta versus Washington could see the biggest FDP scores on the night. Bradley Beal is just costly to fit in a roster. Player per game lineup. We put a player in pretty much each game. You got super balanced. Stars in the early games, topping it off with players who could supply top FDP on the night. Small forward position is so deep tonight, you can afford to search in the middle of the pack for one. Your two biggest position for value come between shooting guards, small forwards, and the power forward position. Make sure you have a strong duo in the point guard position, and your center can hold it down as well. And make sure your center can hold it down as well. All right, and best matchup lineup. These players are those who have the best matchup at their position. This took some digging and analyzing previous games. Expected to do well based on their recent performances and/or the opposing defense. This is the last lineup we will be providing for you guys. Be sure to like this video, share the video, and please comment if you have any questions or concerns or advice. And also, be sure to subscribe to the channel if you are liking these videos. And thank you for choosing another episode of the Pickpocket DFS.